You're looking at Henry Ragtime Texas Thomas, bluesman who is active in the late 20s. He's a pioneer of Texas blues, Texas guitar, and he was born about a decade after the Civil War ended. Think about that. He had a song, Fishin' Blues, on the Harry Smith Anthology of American Folk Music, the seminal collection that influenced Dylan and so many others in the 60s. More importantly for this video, he wrote and recorded a song called Honey Just Allow Me One More Chance. He actually only recorded from 1927 to 1929, and this happened a lot with the old bluesmen, right? They'd get brought in, do a bunch of sessions, and that might be all they ever got to record. But he did, luckily, and as you can imagine, influenced Bob Dylan to write his version of this same song. This came via a re-release of Thomas's work in the early 60s, by the way. And once again, Dylan's song is not a cover song, and it's not something there's a easy name for. It's the same refrain, similar but different subject matter, and that's about it. In fact, if it wasn't for the refrain, if you just removed that, you would never know the two songs are related, but Dylan's absolutely would never have been written without this song. It owes its existence entirely to it, which it acknowledges by the open use of the title. I've talked about this before, but with Dylan, it really is as if a song gets in his head and he almost has to write a new one or transform it into something to get past it. We don't know that for a fact. It could be that when he wants to write a song, he tries to think of something he can use to get started, but I think we have decades of hints given through interviews and live demos and stuff that he's done that prove the opposite. I think it's much more spontaneous and authentic. So sometimes the results are transcendent. The hard rains are going to fall, and really just there's too many examples to name from his career. This is not one of them. This is a really flippant song. I get the sense that he knocked this out in very short order, possibly after an argument with a lover or would-be lover, because the concept of the song is that he's trying to get with the object of his affection, not doing a very sincere job of it. The song is just a randy little number, and it's really more about his predicament of not being able to convince this girl. It mirrors the original song somewhat in that way. The original is really funny, and it's a great song. It's more about a bluesman who's been partying, comes home late at night, and won't be let in the door by his woman because of all his drinking, partying, possibly being unfaithful. So it's one of those classic go sleep in the doghouse type songs. Dylan's song is just 173 words spread out over 3 stanzas. Thomas's original was 371 words, but it's not often you catch Dylan losing in a word count contest. Well, looking for a woman that ain't got no man, just looking for a needle that is lost in the sand. That's kind of the heart of the song right there. It's that device over and over again. A lot of metaphors for what he really wants from the object of the song, and I think we all know what that is. So he has a lot of fun with that in this kind of censor-friendly way. As incredibly simple as this number is, it's still a Bob Dylan song, so there's more to it than that, of course. And there's a joke within a joke that seems largely overlooked, because the thing is, he's purposefully clumsy in his attempts here. There's all these backhanded compliments, kind of goes out of his way in the first and second stanza to point out to the woman that he's not particularly interested in her. Well, I've been looking all over for a girl like you, can't find nobody, so you'll have to do. And that's really coy in that she is the particular object of his affection, but she isn't at the same time. And the metaphors, to ride your airplane, to ride your passenger train, basically imply that he's more interested in the physical act than in her as a person. So the song is almost exploding the cliche about the teenage boy saying anything that it takes to get what he wants from the girl, because usually that's going to be protestations about love, hence the famous female refrain in music, in American music no less, "But will you love me tomorrow?" Well, this song is not making any promises about love or false promises. Well, I'm walking down the road with my head in my hand, looking for a woman needs a worried man, the first and only hint of depth to the protagonist. This was the penultimate song on the freewheel in Bob Dylan, so he certainly proved himself to be a worried man, worried about weighty things elsewhere in the album, just not here. A fun little song with an interesting bit of inspiration. Thanks.